A few days ago, I made the prediction that a B-wave rally would dominate this year, and I still do. We will then talk about the framework after that. The $10.70 zero is still steady, as the ICP chart demonstrates. Since the last peak occurred in March, I'll classify this as a 5-wave advance. The third wave, which typically represents the most probable part of a rally, was incredibly disorganized and repeated the ABC pattern of the wave before it. Wave 4 most likely came to an end on March 18th. It's probable that Wave 5 peaked on March 26th at $20.77, was the first optimal target price for Wave 5. After that, there was a 3-wave drop that allowed for one more extension higher in Wave 1. It may have been a wave, but it was actually a C wave. Wave 1 is indicated by a question mark because, based on our discussions thus far, though it may have peaked here, resistance is currently witnessing a comparatively robust return. This might represent resistance or the conclusion of an A wave collapse and B wave rebound, with a C wave drop approaching. It is important to remember that if the present downturn stays contained within a 3-wave pattern, further higher extensions are still feasible. However, I will respond accordingly if I see the beginnings of a 5-wave pattern. Starting from this point on, because it consists of 3 waves and is cautious of opposition, this rally is not a B wave. Since B waves can grow quickly, I'm merely showing the typical Fibonacci resistance for B waves. B waves typically break through this barrier, suggesting that they have a tendency to extend, outpace the previous peaks, and break through the 78.6 retracement level at. 1831 is not a particularly important year in history, but the structure is. Right now, a 3-wave progression is evident, and there's no sign of fatigue, so this might continue for some time. Though assistance is normally close by, I do not currently see any entry places or setups for long positions. Price is shifting from one level of support to another. I do not anticipate an imminent short rate because there is no indication that the C wave to the downswing has started. The most recent peak is the only way to tell, but as was already mentioned, B waves are prone to overshooting, which is precisely what is taking on in this case. 20.77, $18.31, $643 are the next resistance levels. The 1070 level is still important. A correction will surely be one of the 5 phases that are anticipated to take place. A decline in the C wave from this position would suggest a clear contraction in the second wave, with the price perhaps moving closer to $858 to $577. More gain is anticipated in the first wave. In essence, this is what one expects from forecasts. We may never reach the 2-wave sequence's aim point for Wave C if the B wave keeps rising or even overshoots, as there is currently no indication that the C wave has started. As of right now, the local trend is still rising. Though waves don't always last, the micropattern suggests that this C wave may reach a higher peak. On April 17th, the previous swing low was approximately $11.35 5. Analyzing the pertinent factors is crucial because, as of right now, there is no evidence indicating the existence of a low or peak, and these kinds of frames are incredibly unreliable. Conversely, this one seems to be a 1, 2, 3, or maybe 4 with a 5th wave extra high parameters, and while though it hasn't happened yet, I'm sure there's a good chance a decline will happen. I think Wave C has one more peak, but other than that, I'm at a loss for speech. Before then, it seems like the price is fluctuating in a range if you're keen on trading the range, which starts at $20.77 ends at B. ICP is currently tracking its performance because it is trading close to the 1070 level. I don't think this chart has changed all that much. Although it is not a target and might never be surpassed, the $433 level acts as the general bullish support. My ICP update is now complete. I hope you found it interesting. The latest, if you enjoyed it, don't be afraid to give it a thumbs up. I would be very grateful for your attention to Grap Coin and subscription to my YouTube channel, to my sweetheart.